Hello everyone and welcome to ErebosGamingHD, and we are playing Dynasty Warriors 8, and this is the final SHU battle on the historical branch. I've got a nice little blooper here for you, and this is why I hate archers. Set me completely off guard, but however, get to the actual main game, and this one's actually one of the special games because I managed to find his secret weapon. Totally accidental, but quite simple. As you can see here in the bottom left, this is his heavenly brush, and unfortunately I haven't used it, but I just thought I'd show you all it so you can see where it is. Here's the stats of it. So it's Heaven, Affinity, Cyclone level 10, Recovery 9, Raw 9, and Morass 8. I did want to try this out. I'll probably have a crack at it with it on free mode. But anyway, let's get back to the game. So I'm using Madai. Interesting character. He is Machao's cousin, I read, and he uses a paintbrush to attack. I'm not too sure about that. I couldn't find much information about this guy. Hopefully people that have read the novel and know a bit more information about it could give me a bit more background behind him, but as it looks, he uses a paintbrush and draws tigers, circles and eagles, which make a very, very annoying screechy sound, especially in the rage. It's mental. So straight into battle, straight onto the plains of Wuzhang. I've just taken out one enemy officer there and moving on to Sun Li. And this battle, it wasn't too difficult. The main thing that was a pain in the ass was the archers, as always, and the ballistae, or ballista. I think they pronounce it ballistae, so we'll keep to the way that these guys say it. But pretty simple. Unfortunately, the end of this battle results in Zhuge Liang dying. And from what I've read, the reason he dies is because he's malnourished. He's focusing that much on his troops and the army, because this battle actually goes on for hundreds of days. It's not a quick 10-minute run in and destroy everything. There's a lot of strategy and troops. I believe Zhuge Liang commanded 200,000 troops in this battle, so that was a lot of mouths to feed, as well as a lot of management of strategy, and he basically looked at everything. So he was the strategist, the leader, etc, etc, and unfortunately he was so focused on making sure everybody else were right, he forgot to sleep and eat himself, and he became ill. And as you will see through the progression of this one, he does get a bit sick and eventually dies, but he tries to use it as a ploy first, and unfortunately he does die whilst the play is in place. So moving straight on now to Jiahao Mao and Shen Yi. So anyway, Madai, I actually like his moveset, even though it's a paintbrush. I'm quite impressed with the way that he plays. He's got nice speed, he's got some nice movesets. Nothing really bad about the guy. His Muso is good, his alternate Muso is good, his jumping Muso is okay. His rage Muso, I'd say, is okay. It's probably not the best because of the AoE. The actual damage and the movement is okay, and it's easy to handle, but the actual AoE itself is pretty bad. Right, so I've just been told that I need to be moving on the east side. Got it right this time, not west. And we're moving on to taking out Shen Den, or Dan. This battle it was quite interesting. Sima Yi, who is the enemy commander on this one, what Zhuge Liang was trying to do was to get Sima Yi out of hiding so he could attack him, but Sima Yi held his ground, and it was ridiculed to a state of his actual enemy his officers were getting a bit pissed off, as you'll find out in this one. The taunting of Sima Yi pisses them off, and they end up coming out and trying to defend his honour, so to speak. But there was one bit that I read where Zhuge Liang sent Sima Yi some women's clothing to state that it was a coward. because he wouldn't come out and fight. I thought that was quite amusing. Send the enemy commander some women's clothes, and that pissed off his officers, and they ended up coming out, as you will find. I don't want much else to add. The map itself, I do like this map. I don't know why I started saying all the time. I do apologise for that. I'll stop doing that now. The map is good. There's a lot of different areas, a lot of climbing areas, and it's spacious. I've just done it again. I'm sorry. The enemy officers are not all bulked together. There's a lot of single ones spread out, so it's not just like 3 or 4 main bulks and then end at game. You've got to move around quite a lot, help your peers out, and stop messengers, which is the secret weapon condition. So I'm taking out Quin Leng here. And also, news, this will be the last game I play on the hard difficulty. All the games from here on, including the SHU hypothetical branch, will all be done on the chaos difficulty. And the characters I've all done now. All I've got to do now is the others, the other characters, so I'll have to build them up a little bit. But all characters will range from level 22 to 30. So the main problem with it is you can build a couple of characters up, and the other characters in the stories also build up, but a bit less than the characters that you use. So some of them will be around level 22, whilst the ones that I've used will be around level 30. So that should be a lot of fun. I can tell you that the first one was the Battle of Hefei, and that was a nightmare, and it's added about 2 hours onto my editing, just due to the deaths and the interim saves. I know I've said it, interim saves, but the only way to do chaos with such low level characters without their overpowered level 5 weapons is unfortunately to save it after certain sections. There's that noise. That is a bit annoying. So I'm just cleaning up the fodder, making some space, waiting for my guys to come up with me. The interesting thing on this one as well, when you get to the end of it, you see a cutscene between Zhu Liang and Zhang Wei, and from what I could tell, it seems like Zhang Wei was his successor. However, that's not actually true. The successor was another guy called Jiang Wan, and he was more of a politician, strategist, so to speak, and with him in power he did try to take over Zhu Liang's role, but he was a bit of a pussy. Eventually what occurred was SHU just disappeared, so to speak. They retreated out of their strongholds like Hanzhong, which were a major foothold, and they just gave that up, and they just got weaker and weaker to the state where Wu thought they was destroying their alliance that they made again, but Sun Tuan saw it as a sign of weakness, so they didn't decide to attack him. Instead they focused on Wei, and SHU just disappeared, from what I read anyway. I don't know the full information, and I just escaped that with an inch of a second. I nearly died then. So what we've got here, we've got Guo Huai, I think is how you pronounce him. I'm not too sure, because I just basically rushed through the Jin stories and stuff like that, because I wanted to focus more on it, on chaos, and I can enjoy the cutscenes after a very difficult battle. Yeah, so there's his little dirty tactic. That's not true. He didn't pursue him because he thought that what Zhu Liang was doing was a trick, and he didn't do it until the SHU forces, one of the SHU forces footholds, one of their bases, was abandoned. Then he told everyone to push. So it cut out a big section there. I'm going to use my rage again. I'm going to take out Zhang Lu and Zhang Ji. With this annoying bird sound. Ah, this is where the messengers come. So this is where I get the secret weapon. So I'm just looking to see where they are. So there's the other messenger. Took that guy out straight away, and oh no, he's there. Sorry, he's right in front of me. So I take this guy out, and the main reason behind this, I didn't realise that this was a secret weapon. The reason I did it is because I didn't want any more weight officers to have to defeat. So I'm thinking, I was playing strategically here. I was thinking, right, stop the messengers. Don't have to worry about as many things. I don't have to worry about my morale going negative. Currently it's positive, which is brilliant. So I'm just speeding across the plains, getting to that other messenger. I'm just checking where he is, and I'm going to wipe him out. And then I get really excited because I get this little pop-up saying treasure discovered. I'm like, oh, what's this? And then I remember from previous Dynasty Warriors that that means you found your secret weapon, and I was so glad that they brought this back. There he is. He's down. And the message is just about to appear. There you go, discovered treasure. And oh my god, it took me ages to find that treasure. So just do a quick save there, because I'm like, oh god, I don't know how I did it at the time. I'm like, how have I got that? So, nice little save. Looking at the message there, looking at where it is. Take these enemies out, and then go forth and get my treasure. Yeah, so I'm not too sure about Zhang Wei. I don't know if in Dynasty Warriors 8 it's just been showed to do a lot more than what it actually did. It does speak about him historically, and that he did do quite a lot of work for Zhuge Liang after he died in terms of strategy and stuff like that, but I thought, based on what I saw from the cutscenes, that he was his successor, but it wasn't actually true. Right, so all them enemy officers are down. Morale's good, so now's the perfect time to go and get my secret weapon. So after I kill Zhu Ling, I'll go and fetch it. And this is the main reason why I've moved on to Chaos. Look at that. That was the first attack and I pretty much wiped his life out. That's not a challenge. I play this game to be challenged. I want to get annoyed and frustrated with the difficulty, but I also want the challenge that we don't seem to get in a lot of games nowadays, which is that they're too bloody easy. I cut that out because I went the complete wrong way. All you have to do is, if you look where I am now, there's a little, on the map, there's like a road in the middle. You go down that one and then go across. I ended up going back to my base thinking that there were an exit somewhere. Nope. Just, so yeah, that took me about 6 or 7 minutes to find it. Ridiculous. Oh. Use my rage again, get rid of Suma's sons. Suma Zhao, Zuma Shi, and we've also got Zhihao Dun's son. No, Zhihao Yuan's son. Zhao Ba. Oh no, is it Zhao Dun? Oh, I can't remember. This guy doesn't want to die. So what do you guys think of my die anyway? I mean, I didn't really pay that much attention to him in the other Dynasty Warriors. I think they've improved him a lot, or I've just never played with the guy and never realised how good he actually was. I mean, in terms of his movesets, I think he's probably a bit better than Ma Chao. At the low levels anyway. I'm not too sure what they'll be like when they're maxed out with their overpowered weapons and etc. But in terms of his general moveset, I like him. His all of them are good. And I think I realised after this that those swirly things, I think if you press triangle you can activate them. I didn't realise at the time. It's the same with Dongjua. He throws bombs, and if they don't fly, you can press triangle to activate them as well. So that's something I didn't know. I haven't tested the theory yet, but I did read about it, so I'm wondering what they were. Right, so now we're moving on to the enemy commander, Suma Yi. And Zhai Chong. So even though we win this, this is a massive defeat. We lose the Chancellor of SHU due to death, and the SHU forces have to retreat. It's just a massive defeat. I like Sumi here. You know, I like it when he does his laugh and his imbecile. A nice little block there, that could have been it for me, and that would have been very frustrating. I decide that I don't want to kill Sumi yet, I just want to take out all the enemy officers. You know what I'm like, I like to get the job done properly. And I've got full health, so I'm not worrying too much because he's got a minute amount of health. He's a right little poser, isn't he, when he uses his bloody brush, and then I'm like, oh no, come on. Phew! Minimal amount of life, I think, oh screw it, I'll take out that enemy officer, and he pulls off a Muso attack that nearly gets me. Oh god. And I believe, there you go, he is now down. And that is the end of the Wuzhang Plains and the end of the historical branch. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you on the hypothetical stage on Chaos difficulty.